Hi everyone, welcome to the last class of this course. Today we're going to combine all the movements that we did throughout class 1 to class 6 into one big flow. And it's nice and outside. So let's get started. We start with our core. So lie down onto your back. Keep your core engaged, pushing your lower back into the ground. Raise the right leg up and then raise the left leg up. Hold this position, take the arms up overhead. Make sure your lower back is pushing down into the ground. And then slowly take the hands up overhead. Thumbs to touch the floor and shoulders squeezing up towards your ears. Pull the rib cage down towards your hips. And now you can switch or alternate between the legs, taking the right leg down, the tips of the toes to touch the floor. And then from here we're going to switch, keeping the knee at a 90-degree angle. And switch. Keep your lower back on the ground, your mid back on the ground, rib cage pulling down towards the hips. Keep switching, keeping the core engaged. It's always good to get core activation with the arms overhead because this is engaging the whole core. And to make it a little bit harder, you can take the legs straight. So you can straighten the right leg, straighten the left, and alternate between the two, making sure your lower back is on the ground the whole time. If you don't have your lower back down, remember to take the first option or just to start with legs on the floor and move like you're marching or your hands by your side. So keep going, keep switching, keep alternating, keep breathing, keep the core engaged. 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Hug the knees into the chest. Always activating into the core before we start our mobility so that we don't compensate through the spine or through the hips. Now come back into your tabletop, squeeze the knees together, and you're going to rotate from side to side. You might hear a few pops and clicks if this is the first movement of the day. Keep your knees glued together. Keep your core active, pulling the belly button to spine the whole time. And each time you go to the side, try and move a little bit further, but keep your shoulders on the ground, firmly placed, so that the knees have to push the spine into a further range without lifting up the shoulder. So even if you just go doing small movements from side to side because your shoulders are tight, that's okay. And if you want, you can get your knees all the way to the floor and switch from side to side. Keep going. 2 more. Last one. Hug the knees into the chest. And take the right leg over the left. Bind at the left ankle if you can. Take the arms back out into a T position. Keep your core engaged. And you're going to take your right knee to the left side. Lift it back up and take the toes to touch the floor. Very difficult, this one. Your core should be nice and active now. Keep going. 2. Touch the toes to the floor. 3. Toes to the floor. 4. Toes to the floor. Last one. 5. Come back to center, toes to the floor, and switch. Taking the left leg over the right, binding if you can. If you can't, just keeping the legs in this position. And then trying to get your left knee to touch the floor. all the way to the right side. Lift it back up and touch the toes to the floor. And up. 2. 3. 4. And 5. And then uncross the legs and lift your body up, starting with the class. So start in a standing position, and I want you feet together, toes touching, and spread them out nice and wide. So spread the toes, baby toe, fourth, third, second and big toe into the ground, pulling the arch off of the floor, keeping the knees glued together, belly button to spine. Breathe in, take the arms up, and then breathe out, tilt the tailbone back, tilt it up towards the sky, and take the hands to your knees. Keep your toes active and keep leaning forwards over your toes. And then slowly slide down. Come back up, tilt the tailbone to the sky, even if you have to lift all the way, or if you can, keep it quite low, that's good. And then drop it down. 3 more, lift and drop. 2 more, drop. Last one, drop down. And then come all the way back up. Take the right leg forward, left leg back. Not a big stance. And then make sure your hips are facing forward, hands to your hip crease, and push the bone back towards the back of the room. Pushing your femur bone back into the socket. 3 more, push it away from you. 2, 1, and hold it here. Keep pushing your hands into the leg, pushing it backwards, pushing the femur bone back into the socket. Feel that deep stretch down the back of the hamstring. And then slowly slide the hand down to the ankle if you can, or to your knee, and raise the opposite arm up towards the sky. Take it back down to touch and reach back up. Twist as much as you can. 3 more. 2 and 1. Raise it up. Take the hand down, slide it a little bit further if you can. If you want to take it down all the way to the floor, hand palm on the floor, or just to the ankle, or stay at option 1. Reach up. 1, 2, reach the left hand up. 3, 4, and 5. Take the hands down. Tilt the tailbone to the back of the room, and then slide down here. Take both hands to the floor, and then reach the left leg back to the right and come back up. Slowly slide down, and now feel the difference between the right and the left leg. Because we haven't done the left, it will feel a little bit tighter. Come back. Plant the toes onto the floor. Spread them out nice and wide. Big toes touching, pulling the arch off of the floor. Squeeze the glutes. And then take the right leg back. Keep your hips facing forwards. Hands to your hips. And then try and move forward here. Take the hands to the hip crease. And push the femur bone back. Feel that deep stretch in your hamstring as you do this. 3 more. 2, push hard with the hands. and 1. Hold it here. Feel that deep stretch. And then slowly take that left hand onto the inside of the left knee and reach the hand up towards the sky. 1, 2, right arm up. 3, 4, and 5. Hold it here. And then if you can, take it down and take it a little bit lower. So hand to the ankle or palm on the ground, whichever is best for you. Or take the option back again. Always start with the easier option and then trying a little bit harder as you open up. 3 more. 2 and 1. Bring it back. Take the feet back together. And then just try and spread the toes out again. Tilt the tailbone to the sky, hands to the knees, but make your back nice and straight, even pulling your rib cage into your spine. Feel now both hamstrings should be the same, and try and slide all the way down a little bit deeper. And then breathe in, come all the way up. Take the arms up overhead, hands together, stretch from side to side. And then take the hands back down, come into this position, chair pose, knees squeeze together. Take the hands to heart center and move the right hand over to the left side of the knee. Twist your body open so that your hands are at the center of your body. Holding it here and twisting even deeper, pushing the elbow into the knee to get the chest lifted higher up into the sky. Keep pulling your ribs down towards the hips. Core is nice and active here. Come back to center and switch to the other side. Twisting the body, keeping the knees glued and reaching the hands to heart center by pushing the right hand down into the left and the left elbow into the right knee. Twist as much as you can. Come back to center. Take the hands down onto the floor, left leg all the way back into a nice deep lunge. Hands onto the inside of the legs and take the left knee down. Right arm up into the sky. Bend the back leg. If you can, try and touch the toes with your right hand. And keep raising your chest towards the sky. Slowly let that leg go. Bring the right hand back up into the sky. Tuck the back toes, lift the leg, and twist further here. Take the right hand behind the back if you can. If it's difficult, keep the knee down. Twist the body open. And then slowly bring that hand back to the mat. Lift the back knee and take the leg back. Come into a downward facing dog and take the left leg forward. Drop the right knee to the floor. Raise the left hand up to the sky. Keep twisting. Keep dropping the hips to the floor. And then try and raise that back leg up high. From there you can take your hand behind your back, keep twisting open, and if you need, you just keep the knee on the ground. Grab toes, dropping towards the floor. and then slowly letting go of the leg and back onto the floor, come into a downward facing dog, tilting the towards the sky. Take the right leg up into the sky, keep the hips straight, and bring the knee into the chest. Place the foot in between the hands. Take the back knee to the ground. Reach the right arm up towards the sky. Try and grab the foot again. Keep dropping the hips nice and low towards the floor. Keep moving in and out, side to side, to get all the muscle fibers of that hip flexor on the left side. Slowly let that leg go. Reach the hand back up into the sky and take the hand behind the back. If you want, tuck the back toes and lift up. Keep twisting. Keep your knee, your right knee, facing forwards. And then take the right hand back into the sky, onto the outside of the right leg. Come back into your downward dog. Take the left leg up into the sky, square off the hips, keep them nice and still. And then bring the knee all the way into the chest, place them in between the hands. Take the back knee to the ground, reach the left arm up towards the sky. Drop the hips low, and then take your hand to your right toes, dropping the hips, moving in and out, pulsing here, and then moving from side to side, going through the hip flexors here. Slowly letting go here. Take the hand back up into the sky and then behind the back. Tuck the back toes if you want and reach up a little bit, straightening the right leg. And then take the hand to the floor. Take the left leg back into a downward facing dog. Tilt the tailbone to the sky. You can bend your knees. Remember, your back needs to be straight. Shoulders up into the ears, and then roll forwards into a plank position, taking the knees down to the ground and taking the body all the way down. Take the right hand out to the side and then take it up at a diagonal, and then move the body all the way over, taking your right elbow to the floor to twist and come into a chest opener here. Keep squeezing your shoulder blades to the spine. Come back and switch sides. Take the hand first out into a T, then up at a diagonal, bend the elbow to the floor and twist open, lifting the chest up towards the sky. Come back to center and switch again. Right hand out at a T, then diagonal, elbow to the floor, squeeze shoulder blades to the spine, and then take the leg back to touch the floor. And again. Left hand out into a T, then at a diagonal, elbow to the floor, twist to open. Come back to the floor. Take the hands underneath the shoulders. Elbows, squeeze shoulder blades together. Go as high as you can with your shoulders pulling down towards the floor. Elbows pulling down towards the floor. And then pushing the hands deep into the ground so that you're not having your shoulders shrugged into your ears. You're pushing the floor away from you to come into a nice deep upward facing dog. Squeeze the glutes here, pull belly button to spine. Squeeze shoulder blades. Slowly come all the way back down. Take the left hand into the center. Take the right hand onto the inside of your right foot. And then move your right heel across the midline. 3 more. 2, 1. Slowly drop that leg. The right hand where the left hand to the inside of the left leg, and then move from inside and across the midline. 3 more. 2 and 1. Take the leg back down, hands underneath the shoulder. Lift up into your upward facing dog, squeezing shoulder blades together, belly button to spine. And then tuck the toes, come into a downward facing dog. Tilt the tailbone up towards the sky. Roll into a plank, keeping your core engaged. Bring the knees down and bring the whole body back down again. Back into a chest corner, taking the hands straight this time. Keeping the body lifted, squeeze shoulder blades together. Take the left foot to touch the floor behind you. And touch. Diagonal with the left hand, right toes all the way across. 2 more. Right hand, left foot to touch. Last one. Come back to center, tuck the back toes and come into a downward facing dog. Tilting the tailbone to the sky and pedal out the feet here, dropping one heel down to the floor at a time, and keep trying to get a straight back so your head is coming through your arms. Your shoulders or your shoulder blades are wrapping around your rib cage so that you can make sure your arms are facing each other. And then slowly come down onto all fours. Walk the hands out in front of you. Try and slide forward into a puppy pose. If it's difficult for you, just stop it halfway and try and get the chest down to the floor. If you can and you're feeling good, take the chest down to the floor and lift the chin up towards the sky. Keep looking forward. Keep pulling belly button to spine, bum up into the sky. And then come all the way down, back onto your stomach. Hands underneath, the shoulders lift back up. Downward facing dog, right leg up into the sky. Bend the knee, bring it into the chest, and take the right foot to the left hand if you have this available. If not, you can bring the foot down, but you want to try and get a 90-degree angle here. Even if you have to hold your leg in this position, keep your hips facing forwards and keep dropping them down, both of them equally to the ground. You can pulse it here, trying to drop the bum down. And make sure that your left leg is internally rotated so your toes are facing inwards to the mat. Keep trying to drop down here. If you can take it further, take the elbows down onto the ground. Move from side to side. And if you want to take it that extra step, take the hands down to the ground, head to the ground. But go to whichever option is best for you today. If you're feeling stiff, just take it a step back. You don't need to go into the same position every time you do it. Keep moving from side to side. And then come back up. Try drop the hips to the floor. Keep your core engaged and see if you can bring your left leg up into the crease of the left arm. Drop the hip again. Reach the right arm overhead and see if you can bind the hands. Remember, just taking one option at a time. Going as far as you can, because this will be a marker to see how far you go. Slowly let go of the left leg. Take the hands to the floor and take the right leg back into your downward facing dog. Take the left leg up into the sky. Reach it up, squeeze that left glute, and then bring the knee into the chest. Place the foot on the ground, drop the hips down, making sure you have a 90-degree angle at the knee, keeping the foot lifted here. And then just moving from side to side. Feeling all the muscle fibers around the joint, around the hip joint at the back. You can even do little circles, move from side to side. And make sure the right hip is rotating inwards so that you get a deeper stretch through the left, and drop both hips equally down to the mat. If you want to take it a step further, take the elbows down onto the ground and then move from side to side to get all the fibers. And then if you want to take it another step further, take the hands down to the ground. But wherever you need to be today, that's okay. Come back up. Take the foot behind and bend it. Take the right hand to the foot. Keep dropping the hips down, but opening up the chest here. And try and get into the crease of the right elbow. Bring the left arm overhead. Try and bind here. Keep dropping the hips low. And then slowly let go here. Taking the foot back down to the ground. Hands to the floor. Take the left leg back into a downward facing dog. Move the hips from side to side here. And then move the hips a little bit deeper from side to side, trying to keep the back legs a little bit more straight this time. Feeling it into the side of the body. Bring the knees down to the mat. Take the right elbow to the left hand and drop the head into your right hand. Keep twisting the body open and dropping the armpit towards the floor to get a nice deep stretch into your teres major here. Keep trying to drop the shoulder to the floor. And do 5 big pulses, trying to drop it to the floor. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it in that deepest position. Keep twisting open. And then switch to the other side. Taking the left elbow to the right hand, the left hand behind the head, and dropping the shoulder down or the armpit down towards the floor. Feeling that stretch in the armpit or the side of the body. And then go into 5 deep pulses, trying to get the armpit to the floor. 3 more. 2, 1. Hold it in that deepest position. Keep dropping low. And then slowly come back up into a seated position. Taking the legs out in front of you. Straight legs. If you can't straighten them with the back, keep the knees bent. And then breathe in, take the arms up overhead and try and go as far as you can, even if you have to touch your knees or the shins, or eventually you can touch your toes. Keep lifting the chest up and tilting the tailbone to the back of the room. So if you have your knees bent, tilt the tailbone to the back of the room, keep your core engaged, and then just hold onto your shins. If you have the legs straight, still do the same thing. Tilt the tailbone to the back of the room. This time, just try and keep your knees glued to the mat with your tailbone tilting towards the sky. And then drop the chest down. but then lift it back up. Inhale. Exhale, drop it down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, drop. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, drop. Last one. Inhale, you can take the arms up overhead and throw the arms over the feet, or just as far as you can go, all the way down to the ground. And then slowly, one vertebra at a time, roll back down onto your mat, pulling the belly button to the spine and controlling the movement. Don't just fall back. Take the arms out into a T position. Bring the right leg up. Take the hand to the outside of the right knee and drop the right knee towards the floor. Keeping the shoulder on the ground and just coming into a final twist that's just going to settle the body. Don't push it, just let the knee drop. Bring the knee back into the chest, swap the legs, left into the chest, right hand to the outside of the left knee, left hand out into a T position, and try and drop the right knee towards the floor. Using gravity to allow the knee to pull down. Don't force it into the position. The spine will unravel in its own time. So even if you want to spend a little bit more time here and go from side to side, that's okay. Slowly come back to center, bringing both knees to the chest. Rock from side to side. And then come into a seated position. Well done for joining this course, and I will see you at the next one.